Page 20, dancing puppets. Puppets. I can't say the word puppets. Well, here we're introducing a triad. Okay, let's talk triad. The big fancy word. It simply means a chord that has 3 notes. That's all. Tri means 3. So add, I guess, means something, I don't know what it is. But put it together, it's a 3-note chord. You get used to seeing them in the music. Now let's talk that using a C chord. So let's just review here a little bit. It's C major, we're all the white keys. Hopefully you're doing the C major scale and all that. Okay, I'll come back to that. And what we do is we have a C chord. That is a chord built on C, the note C. And it's every other note in the key. It's white keys, every other note for 3 notes. That is a C chord. It's also a triad. It's not a C chord because it's a triad, and it's not a triad because it's a C chord. They just both happen to fit here. A C chord is here, and a C chord happens to have 3 notes in it. That's a triad. Okay? Every other note. And when it's in this arrangement with every other note, the bottom note identifies the chord. Since the bottom note here is a C, then it is a C chord. Okay. I can rearrange the notes. As long as I keep the note names, it doesn't matter where I have it. I can say, here's a C, and an E, and here's a G. It's got the same note names. That's a C chord. It's a triad, because there's 3 notes in it. If I play one of the notes more than once, like here, I got C on top, I got C's twice. That's 4 notes. That's not a triad anymore, but it's still a C chord. Let's go back to the C chord. I can turn these over. That's called inverting them. I can invert the chord. And here, depending on how many notes are in the chord, is how many times you can invert it. Well, I put the C on top here. Now I have this chord. It's still a C chord. It's still a triad, but the bottom note does not identify the chord anymore because I got 2 notes here. And it can only be every other note on that. It's got to be in that arrangement. And when I do here, there's 2 notes here. So it's no longer the bottom. This is called root position. For the chord, it's root position. Okay, when I turn it over like that here, this is called first inversion. I can turn it over again, put the E on top, and it's here. That is second inversion, but it's still a C chord. But the bottom note doesn't identify the chord anymore because I got 2 notes here. And I can only have 1 note in between each one. If I turn it over again, here, now I'm back to root position. So I got root, first inversion, second inversion. Now I can go down, but the numbers don't change. If I go here and I put G on here, that's still second inversion because as far as the inversion identifications, you're going up. So you pretended you went up. So that's second inversion, that's first inversion, root. All the chords work the same way. Some chords have more notes in them, and there's different flavors of C chords and different. Let's just one thing at a time here. Just get this. They show them in the music, and you'll get used to seeing these C chords. It could be a block chord where they're at the same time. It could be a broken chord where it's anything else other than at the same time, at any pattern, and you'll get used to them. If you're into improvising, you'll get used to playing the different patterns for broken chords. Now, let's talk puppets and see what we've got going on here. I'll look it over. I see it's almost 3 lines long. Treble and bass clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key of C major, so make sure you can do the C major scale, 1 octave up and down, do the trill exercise, and the work in the wrist, everything I explained in the video. It's really important to build your technique, and that's about as close as I get on teaching technique for the most part. And 3/4 time with a pickup beat. So we're coming in on beat 3, which means we need 2 more beats somewhere else because every measure's got to have 3 counts in it. And if you look at the last measure, you'll see it's a half note. That's 2 counts. So those counts 1 and 2, and then count 3 is above. So measure 1 is actually the first full measure because the pickup measure is actually the end of the last measure. Isn't that weird? No. Take it one hand at a time. Make sure we got the rhythm and all that. We're not moving around, so you're still in C position. So really the only finger number you need here is the thumb at the beginning. Please, you can cross these other finger numbers out. You don't need them. Please read the notes, not the finger numbers. And it's 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3. And 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3. See, I only count the 1 and 2 and when I need it because I'm too lazy to do it all the time. Let's go to the left hand. Let's see, you're here. So we're in C position, and again, the only finger number you need is the first one. You don't need these other finger numbers. So it's 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, remember the dotted half note? It gets 3 counts. It's the same as 3/4 notes. Just memorize that. It doesn't matter what the time signature is. The dotted half note is always the same as 3/4 notes. So if you're wondering how long it gets, how many counts? Well, it's 3 times whatever a quarter note gets. Here it's 3 counts. Go to the last line here. Left hand, second measure of the last line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, that's a trick. You're going from the D to the chord. Well, let's talk about that because it's hard to do. At first, at least. You want the notes of the chord down at the same time. But you're resting on your ring finger, and that's one of the awkward fingers. Now I'm going to go here. I'm going to go from here to here. Just work on that. And again, I use weight. I'm not holding the hand still and trying to work the fingers. I'm simply lifting which fingers I don't want playing. I mean, right now the weight's on this finger. Now I'm going to change it so the weight's on these 2 fingers. If it'll help you some, when you got the ring finger down, when you're ready to go on, you lift the wrist slightly, and as the wrist comes down, the weight comes down, and you simply switch fingers. And then when you're ready for that, just add the thumb to it. Don't lift up. Please connect them. You get something similar at the end of the second line when you go here. But this is not an awkward finger. This is a little easier here, going from here to here. But it's the same technique. I'm lifting the weight slightly, and as I lower the weight, I simply switch fingers. You should do it in both hands. Or you work on it. It comes eventually. It will be extremely awkward at first. Be patient. It does come eventually. It's like, oh, I can't do that. Forget it. No, you can't do it now, but keep working on it. It will come eventually. Now, put the hands together, and what do we get? We get this here, these, and then here, and then here, and then here. You go through and put the hands together, figure out which fingers are working together, and then go back through it very carefully and get rid of any hesitations. So it's a steady beat. And again, you should be able to play this without looking at the keyboard. I don't stress this enough in these lessons on this book. I should. Is we want to develop the feel of the keyboard, and we want to be able to remember which note or which key a finger is on. So try and do this looking at the music. Stay looking at the music and figure. That's a weird feeling at first, but it's really important you develop that. After a while, it becomes second nature. You don't even think about it. Trust me, yeah, in a few hundred years, you'll get it. Okay. Once I have all that, then I think about the expression or the articulation. Here we have these slurs. Lift up. I'm lifting up. However, you have to listen to the melody to see where the phrase is. A phrase is a musical sentence. That's a musical thought. And the pickup beat, by the way, is part of it. I have to speed up the melody so I can hear it. To me, it sounds like about every 4 measures or so is a phrase, a musical thought. So I'm going to connect it, and I'll lift up there. So this first line, I'm going to connect all that. Then I'll lift up, lift up in a second. Lift, like taking a breath. Here, cut that a little bit short. And lift up. So forth. It's how I'm feeling it. Now you may feel it different, and that's fine. If you feel the phrases like they're marked in there, then go for it. That's interpretation. This note, I would connect it. Don't disconnect. A pickup note, you usually connect it to what's coming up. The left hand, you just connect it all the way through. They don't tell you anything, so actually it's your choice. You could disconnect them all if you wanted. I'm just suggesting to you, go ahead and connect them. I mean, they do give you a few slurs in the left hand, but I'm telling you, connect them anyway. Now, look out in the second line, going from the first measure to the second measure. I'm lifting up here, but not here. So I lift up here, but I keep that down. Because I'm connecting this. This is what I want the phrase. That's the phrase. And once I have that, then I think about the dynamics. They give you a P at the beginning. Piano is soft. That's the melody. The left hand needs to be very soft. Now the last line, you go up to moderately loud. Mezzo forte, sort of loud. Whatever you think sort of loud is. And then you're going to echo that. It's very soft. And now forte is loud, and that's the right hand. Because you think, okay, wait a minute, they're playing the same notes. They're playing the same note name, so why isn't the melody both hands? And I'm saying, again, it's interpretation. You could interpret it that way. But in my mind, since most of this, the melody's been in the right hand, to me, the melody's in the right hand. And the left hand just happens to be playing an octave apart, but it's still harmony. Because you can play the same note and it can be harmony. Yeah. So bring out the melody if you can. Yeah, it takes time. You got more weight on the hand with the melody, whatever it is. The louder you get, the more weight you use. Then the speed. Allegro, moderato. Well, they're mixing them up again. Allegro means fast. Some people say it means happy. To me, it means fast. I guess if you're going to be happy, be quick about it. And moderato's in the middle, so we're sort of a moderate fast, or a fast moderate, depending on which way you're going. I guess it's a feel. To me, moderate would be here. That's moderate, just kind of in the middle. Fast would be. That's fast. Well, somewhere in the middle. That's my feeling about it. If I played it again after a couple cups of coffee, I'd play it a little differently, I'm sure. You get into it, you feel the music, whatever you want. And don't forget the natural accents. 3/4 time, again, is always the first beat of a measure, and 3/4 times the only one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2 here. It should be clear to the listener that first note is a pickup note, so to here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You'll see a lot of pianists actually bob their head as they're playing the natural accents. Yeah. You bob your head if you want to, but don't get carried away with it because it gets distracting. You don't want a lot of extra motion going around. I've heard piano players do that, especially students, where they're just going crazy. Just drives me up a wall. I can't watch them. I have to turn away or close my eyes or something and just listen to the music, because it's very distracting when you start moving around all kinds of places. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, the louds and softs, and I'm going to do it all about the same. We're just checking notes and rhythms. We're going to go slow, I hope. Slow for me, anyway. I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. So I'm going to go ready, go. And then we go. Ready, go. Two and 3 and 1 and 2